Deepachawan from Uttar Pradesh, Gorakhpur. Now we have discussed about the most important question of electrical engineering from btech first year. Now we will proceed from the unit 1 of basic electrical engineering for 2 marks question only. Number 1 question is define active and passive element with example. The active and passive element are like capacitor, transistor, transformer, and many other elements which are used in electrical are known as active and passive element. Now we will proceed from define unilateral and bilateral element. The unilateral which flow signal from one side to another side, and bilateral is flow from forward and reverse also. Now we proceed from third question. What is the utility of superposition theorem? This is one type of theorem which have learned in this unit. Now is define ideal voltage and current source. 5. Define ideal voltage source and independent source. The dependent like this current passes from this is voltage V current this is. Now the last one is for 2 marks question is define KVL and KCL. Now we will proceed from 7 marks question only. The first question is determine the current flowing through 5 ohm of resistance using this network from this 5 ohm. This is battery plus negative current flowing from this to this. Now the second question is applying mesh analysis obtain the circuit current from 5 ohm resistance in the following. In this also have from 5 ohm resistance. Now we proceed from third question is find the equivalent resistance. This is now find the equivalent resistance. This is 120 volt, 4 resistance, 3. The fourth question is calculate the current across 20 ohm resistance using nodal analysis. इसके अकॉर्डिंग इस पे बताना है 20 अकॉर्डिंग. Now the fifth question is find the current from I1 and I2 using mesh analysis. This is I1, this is I2. Using this to check I1 and I2. Now the second unit of basic electrical engineering from btech first year. 2 marks question only. Determine the form factor of AC current I is equal to 200 sin 150 plus 5 Now we know that I is equal to Im sin omega ct. The second question is dynamic impedance in AC circuit. Now third is define the form factor and peak factor. Define RMS value of sinusoidal current of I is equal to Im sin alpha in the complete circle like this. Now 7 marks question from unit 2 of basic electrical engineering. Number 1 is a 3-phase voltage source has a phase voltage of 120 volt and supply a star connection load having independence 30 plus 48 omega j per phase. Calculate line voltage, line current, power factor, total 3-phase power supply in the load. We know that have two connection like star and delta. Star look like this, delta look like this. Now the second question is explain the procedure of mesh analysis and find current I using mesh analysis in the given circuit. This is 3 ohm, 3 ohm, 2 ohm, 6 ohm, 12 voltage, 4 ampere current flowing on this circuit, including have also 4 ohm resistance. Now, the third question is the incidence value of two alternating voltage are represented by V1 is equal to 60 sin omega and V2 is equal to sin theta minus pi by 3. Derive the expression for the intensity value of first the sum, second the difference of this voltage. Now basically the first is the sum of two voltage V1 and V2, and now the second one is the difference of two voltage. This is difference of two voltage. Now, fourth question is calculate the form factor and peak factor of half wave rectifier using voltage signal. Like we know that we can say that this is sine wave, but in this form only half wave, like this, this for replicating. Now we will proceed from Unit 3 of Basic Electrical Engineering of 2 marks question only. Write the formula for the efficiency of transformer. What is the condition for maximum efficiency of transformer? We know that this is representation of transformer have input, have output, have input, have output. This is primary, this is secondary. Transformer have two ways, primary winding and secondary winding. This is primary, this is secondary. Now, second one is how MFF is related to reactance explore. This is basically for 2 marks question. Define voltage regulator for transformer. Explain true power, reactive power, and apparent power. Classify the losses of transformer. Losses of transformer. We know that this is a transformer have primary and secondary, but basically there are many losses like eddy loss, and other type of losses also including in the transformer. Now the sixth question is find the inductance of a coil in which the current of 0.2 ampere increasing at a rate of 0.4 ampere per second represent the flow of 0.4 watt. Now the long answer type question. First question is a 100 kVA one phase transformer has iron loss of 600 watt and a copper loss 1.5 kilowatt at full load of current. Calculate the efficiency at number 1 full load and 0.8 power factor PF. This means power factor PF, which means power factor. Half load and working unity मतलब this is unity मतलब 1. Now the second question is derive the relationship between line current and phase current for the delta connection 3 phase load when supply from 3 phase balance supply. Now this using delta transformer. This is delta one phase, two phase, three phase. Explain the working of a moving iron type instrument. Drive the explanation of torque produced. Fourth question is what is an auto transformer? Its advantage and disadvantage. Basically the transformer working from without any changes on it are known as auto transformer. Now fifth question is an 1100 by 11 0 volt or 22 kVA one phase transformer has primary resistance and reactance 4 ohm and 6 ohm respectively. The secondary resistance of reactance 0.04 ohm and 0.065 ohm respectively. Calculate equivalent resistance and reactance of secondary reference to primary. Total resistance and reactance refer to primary. Equivalent resistance and reactance of primary refer to secondary. Total copper loss. This is all about Unit 3. Now we will proceed from Unit 4 of 2 marks question. A three-phase 440 volt induction motor is wound from 4 pole and is supplied from 50 Hz supply. Calculate the speed of the motor when slip ring is 5 cm. 5 5%. 5% which means 0.05. Write the application of synchronous motor. There are many type of motors, synchronous motor and other motors. This is one of the application of synchronous motor. What is the generated EMF for DC generator? Basically, there are two, generator and motor. Basically, generator which produce electricity, motor which. Now, why synchronous motor is double excited? Define the commutator in DC machine. What is the function of slip ring in three-phase induction motor? This is all about 2 marks question. We will proceed from 7 marks question. First, derive and explain torque slip characteristics of three-phase induction motor. Now second one, why is a single-phase induction motor is not self-starting? Also explain the various starting method. There are many methods to starting the motor of one motor, asynchronous motor, induction motor. Now, third question is derive an expression for torque in DC motor. A 230 volt DC series motor drawn in 50 ampere current. Armature and series fielding winding resistance are 0.2 ohm and 0.1 ohm respectively. Calculate bus voltage back EMF. This is all about this third question. Now we'll proceed from fourth question. Why is an induction motor called a generalized transformer? Compare the induction motor with the transformer. Now this is all about transformer. The fifth unit of basic electronic engineering of 7 and 2 marks question are very important are number 1 is what are the common problems that occur during electrical installation? We know that there are many hindrances, there are many problems facing from if we installing any devices from our homes, like this is our home. We install anything like inverter or anything, we can facing many problems. So what problem this including on this question? Now second is calculate the energy consumption per day in an hour using 5 CFL 20 watt each 3 fan 60 watt for 3 hour per day. Calculate the energy consumption of this. Now write the short notes and working principle like battery backup MCB, need of earthing MCCB, fuse, wire ELCB. This is all about the electrical instrument and importance in electrical. Now, question 4 is explain type of wire and cable. There are while wires are different and cables are different. Wires are different and cables are different. Now, draw the typical construction diagram of four core armatures XLPE cable. This is one type of cable which are using in their industry and many other places. And write down also the purpose of different layer. Now we can see that this is this is a layering of this is the layering of this is core other. There are many layer of. Now, sixth question is define switch. Switch fuse unit SFU, also known as SFU. Now working of MCB and also make a diagram. MCB and also make this diagram. In a house there are 5 lamps, 25 watt used 24 hours per day, and a 2200 watt refrigerator used 24 hours per day, and 125 watt water pump used 8 hours per day. How much electrical energy is used for a month of 30 days? This is the total question or consumption of electricity. Now, the last question is discuss briefly the type of battery and explain any one of the secondary battery with like battery are two type primary and secondary. There are many type of battery like lithium battery,